Oh, hold on. Before we do that, I do want to play the news item I put out the other day from with the lovely voice acting from Dame from the Sorry in Advance Alliance and the Beaver Show.
On the authority of Gal Fencing and Fedmilcon, Director for Federation Our Service Defense HQ in Taki, various special military district statute authorized, Space Security and Defense Variat Delegation Fedmilcon, by consent Federal Senate and Intaki Assembly, System Security increase to CONCORD rating 0.3, Capsuleer Infrastructure Construction Right suspended, Federation Combined Special Task Force 15 assigned, for Gal Fencing and Fedmilcon, Vice Admiral Syliana Vel'ash, General Officer Commanding, Combined Special Task Force 15, Federation Navy.
I think she did a fantastic job. Shipcaster spying row intensifies with recriminations over CONCORD EDENCOM Task Force. Shipcaster spying row intensifies with recrimination over CONCORD EDENCOM Task Force. Uli Genesis. Recriminations over the Shipcaster spying scandal involving CONCORD EDENCOM Task Force erupted into an open row between the Big Four empires in a public session of the CONCORD Assembly today in Uli. In particular, the Minmatar Republic accused Amar personnel seconded to EDENCOM duties of acting as, quote, agents for the Amar Empire's intelligence gathering and technology acquisition efforts, end quote, provoking a furious response from the Empire. Minmatar Ambassador Kaitan Yun presented evidence in support of the Republic's claim that the task force, including members of CONCORD's AG-12 office and EDENCOM Stellar Monitoring Directorate, quote, extensively made use of Amar military officials seconded to EDENCOM and stationed in multiple CONCORD member states, supporting them as clandestine sources of in its efforts, heedless of the fact that this effectively allows these individuals to also act as agents for the Amar Empire's intelligence gathering and technology acquisition efforts, end quote. Ambassador Yun further pointed out the prevalence of Amar military officers in EDENCOM forces across the Caldari state, alleging that, quote, once again we see that EDENCOM is a vehicle for the Amar infiltration efforts, and now in conjunction with the CONCORD Directorate, reminding many of us in the Republic of how CONCORD itself was once used in this manner. In the past, this required severe emergency measures that were regrettably but sadly necessitated by the actions of the Empire. We resist being driven to such measures again, and there is no reason for the Caldari state should be forced into such measures by Amar duplicity. Royal Heir Hamadeh Kador responded with barely contained fury to the accusations against the Amar Empire, declaring, quote, the Holy Amar Empire entirely repudiates these baseless claims and regrets that the Shakarite regime is once more bent on sowing dissension between the people of New Eden for an entirely self-serving reasons. The terror regime's mouthpiece, Yun, is well known as a peddler of conspiracy theories dredged from the feeds of the most psychotic and demented capsuleers. Even still, this latest tissue of fabrication, lies and slander, represents the nadir of his career as a diplomat. In reality, Yun is nothing more than an assassin posing as a shepherd of a pack of wolves in sheep's clothing. End quote. What's interesting about that, so Kaitan Yun was the Amar ambassador during the events of the Empyrean Age, which is noteworthy because this thing that he's alluding to here, once again, in the past we required several emergency measures that were regrettably but sadly necessitated by the actions of the Empire. What he's referring to is the time that he himself announced the attack by the Elder Fleet against CONCORD facilities in Uli. That was Yun that made that declaration. So, pretty thinly veiled threat from him, but Yun has always been kind of a firebrand. Scenes of chaos at CONCORD Assembly over spying row. Uli Genesis. Following Ambassador Kaitan Yun's allegation against CONCORD, EDENCOM, and the Amar Empire, and the combative response from Royal Heir Hamadeh Kador, the CONCORD Assembly's public session devolved into scenes of shouting, booing, and confrontation on the floor of the chamber. The Caldari and Gallente delegations were caught up in the chaos as assembly members from the two empires sought to separate the Amarr and Mimitar assembly groups. Whoa! Oh, 7, thank you for that, Jim. Let's see. I'm enjoying this so much despite your exhaustion and arduous life of playing Roblox. I know. It's... pity me. Feeding hordes of guinea pigs. You put on a great show. Thank you. You're an asset to the EVE community. I try my best. Hey, man. Jim, you have just become an asset to the EVE community by enabling me to do this. I appreciate that. Let's jump right back into it. Ambassador Devin Malatate of the Gallente Federation addresses reporters after the session was prematurely closed, saying, quote, I deplore the scenes we have just witnessed as a counter to all principles of rational diplomacy and discourse between member states of the Assembly. The accusations and counter-accusations made today are serious and must be investigated. But it is plain that the neutral party, such as the Federation, is best placed to thoroughly determine the facts and the dispositions of certain technologies. We intend to press that point in future discussions. Adding further, wait, does this mean that nobody's paying attention to Taki anymore? Whoo! Ishikone CEO Menz Repala, attending the CONCORD assembly from the rotating delegate from the Caldari State's chief executive panel, poured scorn upon Ambassador Malatate's suggestion, responding, quote, the Federation's motive in this matter are not obscure, given their critical failures in analyzing and adapting Triglavian strategic technologies. Ouch! Pressed for comment on the Republic's charge of Amarr espionage against the Caldari State through EDENCOM and CONCORD, CEO Repala would only say, quote, naturally we take such claims seriously, given the gravity of what is alleged, but we must see to our own investigations and arrive at our own conclusion, without the basis of third-party intruding. Now, it's worth noting that the very person that they're probably referring to here, the head of EDENCOM Intelligence, the former sub-inquisitor of Shatrath's city in Sine Wave Omega, coordinates and communicates with a Caldari member of AG-12, of Archive K, who is the secret intelligence sharing cooperative, you know, whatever, CIA, whatever you want to call it, of the Caldari. So the Caldari are, like, elbow up into this. They just haven't necessarily been caught yet, probably. Construction efforts in key Big Four Empire systems continue. Onamon, Blackrise. Significant new construction efforts have been reported in the Caldari system of Onamon, recently designated as the headquarters of state military and naval efforts in the Caldari Gallente militia war zone. Amidst the EDENCOM CONCORD spying scandal, observers have speculated that Caldari state research efforts on the so-called Shipcaster technology are proceeding apace, and may include construction of a prototype device. The Caldari construction efforts follow increasing fortification of the Intaki system by the Gallente Federation military and security services. The Federation registered an increase of security status for the Intaki system from CONCORD rating 0.3 to 0.4 earlier this week. While the Federation and state increases their military footprints and further fortify the edges of the militia war zone, the Amarr Empire and Mimitar Republic have not been idle. The Mimitar Republic has considerably advanced construction of its new fleet station, its Unified Territorial Liberation Command headquarters in the Ammo system in Metropolis. The Republic efforts are matching pace with the Amarr Empire's operations, developing the Mehathor system in Divoolej region into a headquarters for the Empire's combined fleet group Damius. Increased fortifications and militarization efforts in the broader regions of the core empires and the militia war zones have accompanied steady deteriorating diplomatic relations since the Surthud campaign and the Turner incident. This crisis in interstellar diplomacy, which many observers believe to be the outcome of many years of breaches of the Uli Accord and CONCORD Emergency Militia War Powers Act by all empires, have flared up yet again with the Shipcaster spying scandal. The long-term roles and composition of EDENCOM and even CONCORD are now being openly questioned by diplomats, politicians, and elites in the core empires. And that is it for today, February 16th, YC 125. This New Eden News. I have been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space.